Hello guys, my name is Dave and today I'm going to be working on a 2000 Ford Explorer. It has a 6-cylinder 3.0 motor in it. The problem the customer was having was it was throwing a code 306. It means we have a misfire on cylinder 6. It's already been in the shop and the mechanics done a simple thing, which was to do the plugs, the wires, and the coil pack. So all that has been changed. So I have it in my garage now. I'm going to go ahead and get into that number 6 fuel injector, get it checked out, which it is buried all the way in the back here underneath of this intake plenum. So I figure since I get that up and get all that removed out of the way, I'm going to just go ahead and replace all the fuel injectors while I'm in there. The truck has about 120,000 miles on it, and I know I have vehicles that got 250,000 miles on them, still running the same fuel injectors. Other than cleaning from time to time, they've been doing just fine. But since I know that fuel injector can be one of the problems for that number 6 cylinder throwing that code, I'm going to go ahead and get it up out of there, get it replaced, and like I say, I'm going to replace all of them at the same time. But one of the things I want to do before I tear all this up, I want to get in here and clean all that down inside underneath that plenum with compressed air just to blow anything out, because once I open that up, then the intake's going to be exposed to the motor, so I want to make sure there's no debris that could be able to fall down in there. And before you start this project, make sure your motor is either cool. By squeezing this, make sure there's no pressure in there, and just be safe. If you don't have any pressure, any little bit of pressure at all, maybe crack this. As long as your motor is cool, crack your radiator cap, because when you remove these, if there's any kind of pressure, there's going to be antifreeze inside of here. It's just going to go over your motor and just make it a messy job. So get that cracked and make sure you have no pressure on here before you open it up and get started on it. That's about all I can think to tell you at the moment. I know there's a bolt back here. There's 4 bolts right underneath the coil pack, and there's a bolt right here, and there's a small nut over here just supporting the right hand side of it. But the main thing is to work your way around and get this intake plenum removed. As far as little hoses like that, it's on plastic fittings like that, they're stuck a little bit. Take a needle nose plier and just give them just a small twist. Don't squeeze real hard because you'll snap your plastic. Just loosen them up before you try to take them off. That way you won't break anything. And that's about all I can think to tell you at the moment. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started, tear it off. I'm going to set the camera up where you can hopefully see what I'm doing. A lot of it's going to be fast forwarded. If I see anything out of the ordinary while I'm working, I'll stop the fast forwarding and show you what I'm speaking of. I like to use a container such as this here, and what I'll do, I'll take and throw a magnet. I'm not sure where my magnet is stuck right now, but I'll take and put a magnet down inside there. That way, that's where I'm going to put all my bolts. That way, if for some reason I would tip this over, which I do from time to time, and my bolts go over the floor, that'll keep all the bolts attached to that magnet. So it makes it a good way to keep track of everything. But I'm having no problem keeping track of the magnet at the time. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and get started on it, and get back with you once I get to the bottom end and get down to the fuel injectors. Then we'll go from there. And I found it. Guys, I forgot to show you one thing. As you can see, that just on these here, I went around and marked them. Marked them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the main reason I've done that is that's not the firing order, but that's the layout on the coil. But it also makes it easier for when I put things back together, that I don't have any guesswork. I can just lay them back on where they come from. that's it for now. I'm going to get all this area cleaned up and get my where it's going to seal, get that cleaned up nice, where it's ready to take the new gasket on there. When I do put the new gasket on there, I'm not going to be using any type of silicone or anything on it. So I want to get that good and clean. I want to clean the intake plenum nice. And like I said, I want to clean around these fuel injectors real good. That way when I pull them up out, I won't have any issue. And probably once I pull out number 6 up, I'll probably just go ahead and ohm it and compare it to the others. Just see if there's any electrical issue with inside of it. And once I get down to that point, I'll see you then. Okay guys, at this point I want to go ahead and get this cleaned up. I just use a piece of wet dry sandpaper, usually around 600. I'll also do the intake plenum, get the bottom of that nice and clean and all. And so let me go ahead and get this cover back up and go ahead and start removing the injectors. First thing I'm going to need to do is release this fuel line from over here, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. All right, I'm getting ready to I want to do this fuel line. Hopefully everybody can see. This here's a tool I picked up at my local Advanced Auto. You can get them pretty much anywhere, any automotive store. They got these kind, they got different sizes on them for different lines. They also got the kind you just slip up underneath and pull up on it. That would be better for this scenario because there's not a whole lot of room to get this kind in. But before you start, just go ahead and hook this clip. It's kind of like a safety tie down to keep it from popping out. Take and choose what size you need and get it clamped up underneath it there. Usually this is the hardest part of the whole job, is getting these things apart. These transmission lines, air conditioning lines, anything. But as you're pulling up to get it slipped through, push down on it a little bit. Then you can feel a lot of times, you feel pop loose. And there we go. Comes up, looks nice. You want to inspect the seal on it, make sure the seal and all is still good. All right, got all that dirt cleaned up out of there. That's going to make it a lot nicer to work on. Okay. There we go. Let's give them a little wiggle. Some of them could be a little tough. And there we are. Got them out. Go and pull this out. Make sure you have a towel or something, because you're going to always have gas coming out of that gas rail. Just to catch it, sop it up. Won't be a whole lot. Just one other thing I like to mention before I get too far is I just pulled this injector up out, and I noticed that the seal was going on it, and I looked up inside the fuel rail and it was still stuck up inside there. So always make sure when you take your injectors out that you have both of the O-rings that come with them, the top and the lower one. And if they're not on there, look inside the holes where it come out of there, and you pretty much bet that's where they're going to be. This type of fuel injector that I'm putting in now, it's made specifically for this motor, because this is a flex fuel motor, so you got to have a special type of injector for that. Get it seated down in there. You're going to feel it. It's going to go down in. Like I say, just give her a little bit of spin. Make sure it's seated in there nice. Yep, you can feel them pop in. Give them a little spin. Make sure all your seals are where they need to be. Your O-rings. I already inspected them before I got to this point. All right, I got the fuel injectors put down in there. Got the fuel rail put back on it. So at this point, I want to get it bolted down, get the electrical hooked up to it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, then I'm going to start with the reassembly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the resistance test on them. I got them laid out the same way they is in the cylinders. Injector 1, cylinder 1, 14.7. Injector 2, 14.6. Injector 3, 14.7. Injector 4, 14.7. Injector 5, 14.6. Injector 6, this here was the injector that was misfiring. It's also reading 14.7s, but it is very possible that this may fail once it started to warm up. I've seen that happen before. So there you go. All right, I got the air intake plenum put back on top of the engine. Got a few of the bolts in it already. Haven't tightened anything down. But before you do put your bolts in, always inspect the threads real good. Make sure there's no dings, no gashes. Take a wire brush, clean the thread, make them nice and shiny. That way you know there's nothing going to be affecting your torque settings. For this particular 3.0, I do not have a manual. So to find my settings, I've done some research on the internet. And the best that I could find was 15 foot-pound for my first pass and 18 pound for my second pass. For those of you who are using torque wrench in inches, that's going to be 180 inch on your first pass, 216 inch on your second pass. Put a copy of the sequence that I'm going to be tightening right here. I seem to say the same in all my research. So that's about all I have to tell you at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and get everything reattached, and I'll see you soon. Alright, sounding smooth. I just got back from about a 20-mile trip and did not get any check engine light. The hesitation seems to be gone. Ran smooth down the highway, 55, 60, 70 mile an hour, didn't have no hesitation. It seems to be idling just fine. So hopefully I got this problem solved. While I have it here in the garage, I'm going to go ahead and replace the front rotors and pads. And I hope you learned a little bit of something from this project. And thanks for watching.